Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Empowerment with Elizabeth. Today I am here with my sweet new friend Dominique. She's going to chat with us about being a state title holder. Dominique, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, of course, my name is Dominique, and I currently reside in Anchorage, Alaska. It is a little town right at the very bottom. And then I grew up in Eagle River, which is about 10 minutes north of Anchorage. Um, I just currently won a couple weeks ago the title of Miss Alaska Volunteer, so I'm super excited to be here. And I'm currently pursuing my degree in early elementary education at the local university here.
I love it. I love it. So, why pageantry? Kind of talk to us about your start in pageants, what got you into it, what got you hooked, and how it got you to where you are now.
Yeah, actually, I love telling this story. I love telling this story. One day I was scrolling through Facebook. Pageantry was never a thought in my mind. I was like, oh, I had, kind of those preconceived ideas of what people normally think. Oh, it's just pretty dresses and pretty girls on stage. There's not really much that goes into it. I was scrolling through Facebook. I saw this ad for the first ever local title for the Miss Alaska Volunteer Program, and it was Miss Eagle River Volunteer. And I called my sister because there's not much to do up here. And I was like, I'm going to compete in this pageant. And I, I want us to do this together. And she was like, okay, the pageant's in a month and you want to compete. And I was like, yes, we're going to do it. And she was like, okay, let's do it. And so we buckled down. I learned off of YouTube videos. I didn't know many people. I ended up winning that Miss Eagle River local title, which was super cool. And it immersed me into this world of just pure joy. Like so much volunteering. The girls were so sweet. They walked alongside me every step of the way. I ended up competing in the state title in 2024. 2023, which would have been for the 2024 title. And I ended up placing first runner up. So I got to go to the National Sweetheart Pageant last year, and it was an amazing experience. And that brought me to this year's state title where I ended up winning. So I've just fallen in love with just the community. It really brings girls together. It really brings that service oriented time, just to connect with people out in your community, with other girls, even like I've got to connect with state officials and really make a difference.
I love it. I love it. And obviously, a major portion of the competition that you're talking about, is your talent. So, talk to us about
Yeah.
what your talent is, and kind of how you go about developing a talent for state and then now nationals.
Yeah. So I've been singing since I was like 3. I'm very oriented in the theater here up in Alaska. And so that is my talent. I like to sing for states. I sung Never Enough from The Greatest Showman. It's one of my favorite songs. I am currently in the works of doing another pretty dramatic song for nationals. We have a couple choices. We haven't narrowed it down yet, but I'm really excited. So we're picking, I believe, another musical song because that's my strong suit. But we'll see. I want to add something upbeat because I've never really done that on stage. So I would like to do something fun. I got to do something fun at National Sweetheart Pageant. So I would like to incorporate some of that into the Miss Volunteer America um, talent portion. So I'm excited.
I love it. I love it. And obviously, that's just one portion of the competition. You've got
Yes,
three or four or five more, depending on how you count them. So, talk
there's
to us about what
4.
your favorite phase of competition is, and then a little bit about why that phase is your favorite.
Yeah, actually, my favorite phase is swimsuit. I have always been a plus size girl. And I actually did not purchase a swimsuit until my first Miss Eagle River pageant. I didn't wear swimsuits to the gym, to the beach, like to anywhere that had a pool. I was very much a shorts and t-shirt girl. I didn't like to, show my body. And so when they were like, it's mandatory that you wear this swimsuit, I was like, oh, okay. And the first time I ever walked on stage in the swimsuit, I had never felt better about myself. The just confidence and the adrenaline it gives you to push you through the rest of the show is like no other. So every time I step out in my swimsuit, I know that I'm making a difference, not just for myself, but for other girls who may look like me or who may think, oh, I can't do that on stage. You absolutely 100% can.
I
You
love it.
can.
I love it. That's amazing.
Thank
And
you.
obviously, another portion of competition that we haven't really talked about yet is interview. And that's a big part of a lot of what you talk about in interview has to do with your serve initiative. And that's also what a lot of your year has to do with. So, talk to us about your serve initiative, what it is, and what you've been doing with it so far.
Absolutely. My serve initiative is homelessness hand in hand with addiction and recovery. It's something that has affected my family personally. Growing up, I have three siblings who are still to this day current in active addiction, one of which is homeless in Seattle. And so it's really important to me to advocate for those who feel they don't have a voice, because most people in a situation with addiction, with homelessness, really just need a helping hand. Um, a lot of the homeless people in Alaska come from our villages. They fly down to get groceries or to get something. They lose their ID. They can't get back home. So then they're stuck. They're stuck here with no way to get a new ID because they don't have any form of identification, no way to get a plane ticket home, and then they're stuck in this system of ongoing I can't go anywhere because I don't have anything. So my job is I volunteer with Henning Inc., which is a local nonprofit here in Anchorage, and I have helped clients go from homeless to sheltered, to get jobs. I was um, a case manager for about a year and a half with Henning Inc. before I switched jobs, and now I still do volunteer work with them. But I've really walked that line with that person from being down at your lowest point to getting them to where they are rehabilitated and now an active member of society. So it's super important. My mom and my dad both did service work. My dad is currently a chef for Beans Cafe, which is a nonprofit that feeds the homeless. And my mom was a case manager for the Alaska AIDS Assistance Association, and over 40% of her clients were homeless. So it really, they inspired my work, and to this day inspire me to continue what I do here.
That's amazing. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
And obviously, you mentioned that you've competed now twice with Miss Alaska Volunteer. So I want to know why you think the judges selected you to represent your state this year.
I based my whole interview this year off of what is meant for you is meant for you. The 2023 Miss Volunteer America, Hannah Paragon, had came to our 2024 pageant. And when I won the Sweetheart title, we decided to do our pictures on this glacier. So we had to hike in our dresses up 45 minutes up to this glacier to take pictures. So I really got a chance to sit down and talk with her. And she had told me, what's meant for you is meant for you. So what is meant for you is going to come. And that whole year as Sweetheart, I had a really rough year. I had lost my mom. I was taking care of her. And so it kind of gave me a chance to grow, which is why I feel like this year being able to step into that position, to go into that room prepared, ready to go with my story, confident in the work that I had done the last year on not just myself but my serve initiative, and just giving back, not only to my family, but to my community, my friends, my family. I grew as a person, and I was able to show that in my interview and talk to them about the growth that I had made in just a year, and that I was fully and ready prepared to take on this position. And I think I was really able to show them that. And I feel like that is why they picked me to be Miss Alaska Volunteer this year.
It worked. It worked.
It worked. It worked.
I would say it worked.
So
Yes, I
thankful for
love
them.
it. I love it. I love it. And obviously, next for you is Miss Volunteer America, which I'm sure you're so excited for.
I am so
So talk to us about what you've been doing to prep. What have you been focusing on with your preparation for nationals?
Yeah, so right now we're currently in the planning phase. I just won a couple weeks ago, so I took kind of a sort of break to really get my mental health back on track, because pageant weekend, is super stressful. Yes, super high strung. So I took some time to kind of relax, get my head together, take care of myself and also my family and friends who help. But now we're starting to really get into planning. We've got 6 months, which is super nerve wracking because you're like, I, so I am currently trying to figure out what ideas we want for outfits for each portion of competition, where I'm going to get my dress from. I've started planning with my walking coach to for routines, what we want to do differently. So I'm super excited. We're still in the early phases, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna keep working.
I love it. I love it. And our final question, if you could give one piece of advice to a girl competing at Miss Alaska Volunteer next year, what would it be?
Be authentically you. It's super important that when you go in there, you answer what you honestly think. Don't try and morph your answers or even on stage, morph yourself into someone that you know you're not. The judges are going to be able to tell, and they want to see you at your best, and that's what's important to be authentically you because that's what they want to see.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Dominique, for coming on and chatting
Thank
with
you for
us. And
having
just
me.
know that we'll be cheering you on your journey, through your year with your CSI, your Serve Initiative, and just know that we'll be cheering you on at nationals.
Well, thank you so much, and it was awesome to meet you. And thanks for
Of
having me.
course. Of course. And I will see the rest of you guys on our next episode. Bye, y'all.